right over the top of the 6'4" Geisel-Suter. She has been red hot from 3, and she hits side. Nice feed from Grinder.
All right, it looks like the GOAT Caitlin Clark may be finally taking somewhat of a stand versus the nonsense that Stephanie White has been attempting to push upon her. We just saw Sophie Cunningham talk about Kelsey Mitchell potentially winning MVP and all of this stuff. It seems like everybody has forgotten the reason that all of the people are here, themselves included.
Caitlin Clark just sent a warning that Stephanie White cannot ignore. And the scary part is, she did not need to scream. She did not need to call anyone out. She did not need to start drama in front of a microphone. All Caitlin had to do was say the quiet part out loud. If she does not play basketball well, none of this comes with it. The tickets, the cameras, the sold-out arenas, the national TV games, the brand deals, the attention, the entire machine that has suddenly wrapped itself around the Indiana Fever.
Oh man, let's pull it up right now and let me show y'all what the hell I'm talking about, because they in trouble. They're in a world of trouble. Now, this is the footage right here. Let me scroll down. We're going to go over this stuff here because they showed the final roster. So this is the clip. And what's crazy about this clip, I missed this clip yesterday. This clip came out yesterday morning. It said, our coach allowed a supporter, Stephanie White, mic'd up. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Let's watch this. Let's watch it.
Don't be trying to get athletic. Just be bullied. Good. Good. Yeah. Yeah, KK. Come on, Yellow. Yeah, tell him, Mike. Come on. Great cut. Great cut. Good. Mismatch. Yes. Good, Didi. Good, Tori. Good. Nice. Yes. Good. Good.
What the hell is this? What the hell?
That was not just a quote. That was a warning, because Caitlin Clark knows exactly why people are watching. They are not tuning in to see her stand in the corner. They are not buying tickets to watch her become a normal off-ball guard. They are not filling arenas to see the most electric player in basketball get turned into a side piece in someone else's system. They are watching for the logo threes. They are watching for the full court passes. They are watching for the chaos she creates when the ball is in her hands. And now, all eyes are on Stephanie White, because if the Indiana Fever get this wrong, the backlash will not be small. It will be loud, it will be emotional, and it may turn into the first major crisis of the Caitlin Clark era.
When it rains, it definitely pours, man. Stephanie White is back in the hot seat, dog. Now, there have been several videos coming out that various people have been posting showing Stephanie White at practice. Now, when practice first started up, after the CBA negotiations and stuff was over with, we was noticing something, a trend within Stephanie White. And to me, it looked like she wasn't coaching. Looked like she was just standing there clapping. Like a what? Cheerleader. That's what she was doing. It was a whole lot of her not coaching. Somebody who was coaching is the assistant coach, Coach Kelly. He was coaching a lot. I mean, we seen Coach Kelly running up and down the sidelines, coaching as if it was a game. That's what you want to see, energy from your coaching staff. And I'm here to tell you, when it came to Breonna in January, she was coaching. We seen her do interviews. We seen her running up and down the sideline, coaching. Anytime we see Stephanie White, she's standing there, paper in her hand like this. Paper in her hand like this. That's what we see Stephanie White doing. And I'm telling you right now, this upcoming game against Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings, and the Wings look good. They don't look bad. They look good, and they damn sure don't look great, but they are beatable. Very much so beatable. Now, this is going to be the biggest test of the season already. Because I'm telling you right now, the whole season campaign is going to be fire Stephanie White. That is going to be the topic. I can almost guarantee you.
But before we go further, let's be clear. This is not about Caitlin Clark demanding special treatment. This is about the Fever understanding reality. Caitlin Clark is not ordinary. She is not just another young player trying to find her place. She is the reason Indiana became appointment television. She is the reason casual fans now know the Fever schedule. She is the reason every possession feels like it can become a viral moment.
This here is courtesy of Yahoo Sports, where it says Caitlin Clark spoke to Yahoo Sports about her growth as an endorsement sensation, business mogul, and more. Okay, now in this article, it is Caitlin kind of talking about, being an off-the-floor sensation and all this popularity and all of that is great. But the only reason all these people are here is because of my greatness on the floor, and I have to continue to showcase that at a high level if I'm gonna keep this stardom. Okay, we already see ticket prices dwindling, fans taking a stand versus the organization, okay, for some wrongdoings, being lied to all last season about Caitlin Clark's injury, the day-to-day status, which was complete BS, and they know it, we know it, I know it, you know it. So Caitlin Clark says this, okay? Caitlin Clark is a marketing juggernaut, but says winning will unlock more. At this point, Caitlin Clark can sign and secure any brand deal she wants. The only thing missing from her meteoric rise to global ubiquity is winning an elusive championship. The Indiana Fever superstar guard has helped spur the WNBA's growth to record heights as the league tips off its 30th season this weekend following a newly signed collective bargaining agreement that increases the average player's salary fourfold from 2025.
So when Caitlin says the basketball has to come first, she is not just talking about winning games. She is talking about the entire product. Because the Caitlin Clark product only works when Caitlin Clark is allowed to be Caitlin Clark. That means pace. That means freedom. That means the ball in her hands. That means letting her read the floor, bend the defense, and force opponents into panic. And that is where Stephanie White suddenly finds herself in a very difficult position. Because fans are already nervous. They have seen the practice clips. They have seen Stephanie White clapping on the sideline. They have heard the generic encouragement. They have watched assistant coaches look more active in certain moments. Now, to be fair, practice clips do not tell the full story. They are short, they are edited, they can miss context. A coach can be teaching before the camera rolls and correcting things after the camera cuts. But in sports, perception becomes reality very fast.
There is no doubt in my mind, Caitlin Clark fans is pissed off with Stephanie White. Y'all want to know what happened yesterday? I went live yesterday, right? And instead of us mourning the loss of McConnell, no. People wanted to talk about Stephanie White. Stephanie White gotta go. This has to stop. Now, there was some footage from the Indiana Fever that was dropped by the admin yesterday. Now, why they dropping this footage, I have no clue whatsoever. One thing I can say, I think the Fever admins need to drop footage that caters more to the fans, because that's essentially why y'all dropping the footage, is to, get the fans hype, get ready for the season. Now, these little experiments y'all doing just ain't it. I just gotta be honest. Now, granted, they can't get on board to be all like, hell, Stephanie White just standing there clapping like a cheerleader. No, they can't do all that. But something that they can do is play some, at least with her coaching. Come on, Caitlin, we need you to go right, go left, shoot a three, send the ball to Caitlin. Something. Give us something to be happy about. Because I'm telling you right now, this footage they dropped yesterday, oh my God. Guys, this is not it. This is not it at all.
And right now, the perception is dangerous. Fans are asking one simple question: who is actually running this team? Because from the outside, it looked like Stephanie White was trying to win over the cameras instead of showing the fan base a clear plan. And when a fan base already fears that Caitlin Clark might be underused, those clips become gasoline on the fire. That is why the panic is real, not because Stephanie White has already failed, but because she is now being judged before every game even starts. Every substitution will be watched. Every play call will be analyzed. Every time Caitlin goes 3 possessions without touching the ball, fans will notice. Every time she gets parked too far from the action, fans will react. Every time the offense looks slow, predictable, or disconnected, the same question will come back. Is Caitlin Clark being unleashed, or is she being controlled?
I don't know, but I don't want to deal with this the first game. I don't want to deal with them trying to lie. I don't want to deal with them trying to cover up. Like Caitlin Clark might not be dealing with an issue if she is. Another thing, Stephanie White need to be fired. I don't give a damn what they say. I don't care how they put it. Stephanie White is not the coach for Caitlin Clark. As soon as Caitlin Clark got to going and she started having that third quarter explosion we all seen, Stephanie White immediately took her off the ball. Then she started realizing, damn, we're not scoring anymore. Let me put the ball back in Caitlin Clark's hand. All these different experiments, all these different things that she doing is not it, bro. I just got to be honest. It's just not it.
And that is the real tension here, because fans are not just worried about wins and losses. They are worried about Caitlin being iced out. They remember last season. They remember the awkward stretches. They remember the moments where Caitlin looked like she was fighting the opponent, the pace, and sometimes even the rhythm of her own team. They remember when the offense did not always feel built around the player who made the league impossible to ignore.
On a night in, night out basis in the WNBA, doing my thing and being spectacular doing it. That's the reason all these people are here. That's the reason all these people have gained all this interest in the league. So to hear her voice that understanding, Stephanie White ain't gonna be able to stay in the way it is. Oh no, Caitlin Clark is not about to let bonehead Stephanie White block her greatness and even more opportunities that are waiting for her.
So now, any hint of that happening again becomes a problem. That is why comments about running plays for Kelsey Mitchell created such a reaction. And let's be fair, Kelsey Mitchell is not the villain here. She is a serious scorer. She is important to the Fever. She can absolutely help Caitlin Clark win. But balance cannot mean confusion. Balance cannot mean pretending every player has the same gravity. Balance cannot mean taking the ball away from the one player who changes how every defense in the league has to think. Because when Caitlin Clark has the ball, the entire floor shifts. Defenders step higher, help defenders panic earlier. Passing lanes open, bigs get easier touches, shooters get cleaner looks. The whole team becomes more dangerous. So yes, the Fever need more than Caitlin, but they cannot build an offense that makes Caitlin feel like just one option. That is not balance. That is overthinking. And Stephanie White cannot afford to overthink this, because the pressure around Caitlin Clark is bigger than basketball now. This is business. This is media. This is the future of the league. Caitlin Clark is tied to massive brands: Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, Xfinity, national broadcasts, sold-out arenas, primetime slots. The Fever are not just coaching a roster anymore. They are managing the most valuable spotlight in women's basketball. That means every decision has consequences. If Caitlin looks electric, everybody wins. The Fever win. The WNBA wins. The broadcasters win. The sponsors win. The fans win. But if she looks boxed in, if she looks frustrated, if the offense looks like it is trying to make her smaller instead of bigger, then the questions will become brutal. Why would you take the most exciting player in the sport and make her less exciting? Why would you slow down the one player who brings new people into the building? Why would you ask Caitlin Clark to fit into a system when the system should be built around her? That is the warning Stephanie White has to hear. Caitlin Clark does not need to threaten anyone. Her value speaks for itself. The ratings speak. The ticket sales speak. The endorsements speak. The fan reaction speaks. And now the next game becomes the first real test. Because practice clips and interviews only tell us so much. The truth shows up when the ball is tipped. Fans will be watching everything. Who brings the ball up? How quickly does Caitlin touch it? Is she initiating the offense? Is she coming off high screens? Is she attacking downhill? Is she creating early pressure? Is she being trusted to control the tempo? Or does the offense look slow, careful, and afraid to let her cook? That is what people want to know, because one game will not define the season, but it might define the trust. If Stephanie White comes out with a fast, sharp, Caitlin-led offense, the noise can quiet down quickly. Fans will forgive practice clips. They will forgive awkward media moments. They will forgive early uncertainty if the product on the floor makes sense. But if the Fever come out flat, if Caitlin looks disconnected, or if the offense looks like it is trying to prove a point instead of win games, then the backlash will explode. And that is the part Stephanie White cannot ignore. This fan base is not passive anymore. They are not just watching casually. They are emotionally invested. They have spent money. They have traveled. They have bought jerseys. They have defended Caitlin online. They have helped turn the Fever into one of the most talked about teams in basketball. So they feel ownership over this moment. And whether that is fair or not, it is real. They want proof that the Fever understand what they have. They want proof that Caitlin is the engine. They want proof that Stephanie White is not going to turn the most electric player in basketball into a safe, watered-down version of herself. And this is where Stephanie White deserves a real chance. She is experienced. She knows the league. She has been around high-level basketball for a long time. A few short clips do not prove she cannot coach. But this is not a normal job. This is not a normal roster. And Caitlin Clark is not a normal star. The patience level is different. The spotlight is different. The consequences are different. Stephanie White is coaching in the middle of a storm, and every decision she makes now carries more weight than it would anywhere else. That is why Caitlin's warning matters, because it cuts through everything. The fame only matters if the basketball works. The business only grows if the product stays electric. The fans only keep coming back if Caitlin Clark is allowed to be the player they came to see. So now Stephanie White has one job. Do not hide her. Do not slow her down. Do not overcorrect. Do not turn the most dangerous weapon in the league into a decoy. Build the offense around her gravity. Let her create. Let her attack. Let her make mistakes if she has to, but let Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark. Because if she is unleashed, the Indiana Fever become must-watch television. But if she is held back, the fans will not just complain. They will revolt. And that is why Stephanie White is already under pressure. Caitlin Clark's warning was not loud, but it was clear. The league is watching. The fans are watching. The sponsors are watching. And now Stephanie White has to prove she understands the assignment. If you're still watching, drop Unleash Clark in the comments.
Now, I told y'all, the Indiana Fever don't look too bad, baby. My goodness. They put hands, feet, kneecaps, ankle brace, a whole everything all over the whole city of New York. So Brennan Unescu and Brianna Stewart looking like ancient people. Clark, a deep three.
She scored the first basket of the game, 9 months away from professional basketball, 2 surgeries worth of recovery, an entire season stolen by injury. And the moment Caitlin Clark stepped back onto that court against the New York Liberty, she scored the very first basket of the game.
Hit it all the way to Billings. Billings down low, hands it off to Clark. Clark being guarded by Gardner. Puts the floater up and rattles it in.
I really like the aggressiveness, and you can hear the crowd just getting into it.
The crowd lost their mind, and honestly, so did the rest of us. But here's the thing, nobody is talking about this morning. What happened after that shot is actually the more interesting story. Stick with me, because this one goes deeper than the highlight reel. Let us set the scene.
Okay. Preseason has finally kicked off. The Indiana Fever go into New York and walk out of New York with a W in hand. Things that I liked.
April 25th, 2026. The Indiana Fever opening their preseason against the defending Liberty. And Caitlin Clark playing in her first WNBA game since July 15th, 2025, 9 months and 10 days ago, walking out onto that floor with every camera in the building pointed directly at her. She admitted she had nerves, said it herself before tip-off, but she also said this, and I want you to remember this line. This isn't a real game. I understand that, but that's how we treat it, like a real game.
How much do you expect to play today? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, like 20-25 minutes is probably what you're going to see. Not like a minute restriction or anything like that. Just, wanting to see some other lineups of people that are, trying to make the team and giving them opportunities as well. So that's still a good amount of minutes. I expect to be out there, and basically I'm pretty sure we're planning on treating the first half like a real game, and I expect New York to probably do the same. And then, second half, a lot of other people are going to get some run. So, but yeah, I expect to play a good amount.
That is not a player easing in. That is a competitor. And it showed from the very first possession. Clark received the ball, attacked the paint, and scored. Just like that. First touch, first basket of the entire game. The building erupted, and then, 2 possessions later, she did the thing that has become her signature. Pulled up from 29 feet, stepped back, released it flat and clean, and watched it disappear through the net.
Now,
Yes, she is a knockdown shooter. She is feisty over there, making the offensive foul. Clark takes the three and drills it.
Oh my, behind the back. There's not a question that she has come up in this game, getting right early.
2 possessions, 2 makes. She looked like she had never left. And then the shooting stopped. Her final 8 shots of the game, all misses. 2 for 10 from the field overall, 1 for 5 from 3. After those 2 opening makes, Clark could not buy a basket. Now here is where most channels are going to frame this as a problem. They are going to clip the misses, write the hot takes, and tell you the rust was showing. I want to give you the actual story. Clark played 17 minutes, all in the first half. 17 minutes managed carefully by the coaching staff in a preseason game against a full-strength Liberty team. She had 0 turnovers. She had 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and a block. She finished +1 on the court. And when the fourth quarter came around and Indiana needed to close it out, they did not need her to do it. Shatori Walker-Kimbrough scored 9 points in a 21-4 closing run. Kelsey Mitchell and Walker Kimbrough each finished with 18 points. Sophie Cunningham dropped 13 off the bench. The final score, Indiana Fever 109, New York Liberty 91, an 18-point blowout. This is the part that should genuinely excite every Fever fan watching this. For the past year, the narrative around Indiana has been simple. Caitlin Clark is the team. When she goes down, the team goes down with her. The 2025 season seemed to prove that point. 13 games for Clark, a season that went nowhere. But what happened on Saturday? Clark played half a game, shot 2 for 10, and Indiana still won by 18 against the New York Liberty. That is a completely different team than the one we watched in 2025. Think about what that actually means heading into a full WNBA season. Clark does not have to be perfect. She does not have to carry 35 minutes every night. She has weapons around her now. She has depth. She has a roster built to win games even on her off nights. And every great player has off nights. The pressure that used to sit entirely on her shoulders, it is spread out now. And for a player coming back from the kind of injury year she had, that changes everything. Now let us talk about the shooting, because I think it deserves honesty rather than spin. 2 for 10 is not what Clark wants. She knows that. She is the most self-aware player in this league when it comes to her own performance. And you can bet she walked off that court with a list of every shot she wants back. But here is what I noticed watching the misses. None of them were timid. None of them were the shots of a player protecting herself, second-guessing her body, playing scared. Every single attempt was aggressive and confident, the kind she would have taken in her rookie year in college, in any game at any level. The mechanics were there, the courage was there, the shots just did not fall. That is rust, and rust burns off fast. After the final buzzer, with Indiana celebrating a dominant win, Caitlin Clark was not dwelling on the shooting numbers. She was talking about the team, about the win, about what this group is capable of over a full season. That is who she is. She scored the first basket of the game when it mattered most, when 9 months of waiting and wondering and doubting was sitting on her shoulders and every eye in that building was watching. She delivered in that moment without hesitation. The rest of the game is a footnote. The 2026 season starts now. The Indiana Fever are 1-0 in the preseason. Caitlin Clark is healthy, back on the floor, and playing with zero fear. And a team that once lived and died by her every shot just beat the Liberty by 18 without her playing a single minute of the second half. The league has been put on notice, and we are just getting started. If this video got you fired up for the 2026 season, hit that like button right now. It means the world to the channel. Subscribe if you are not already on board, because we are covering every single Fever game this season as it happens. Drop your prediction for Clark's 2026 season averages in the comments. We will be reading every one.
Hey, Joe Reese! Preseason basketball, we're back, baby! 3 ball, you want some? Come get some! Bang! I heard she got traded for a used jockstrap and a dirty diaper. New team, same layup package. Bang! How about them eyeballs? You know what they say? Free throws ain't free. How about it? Bang! They say second time's a charm. Bang! No, it's not. How about the third time? Bang!
Angel Reese came back to Chicago for one reason, to prove they made a mistake. Instead, it turned into something much worse, because this wasn't just a bad game. This was a statement game that completely backfired.
Oh no, folks. It seems as if Chicago didn't really want to spend $12 to watch this preseason game in person. They didn't want to see the epic return of their number one star that got traded away coming back. I mean, these tickets were going for $7-8, $6.50 in some places.
Angel Reese versus the Chicago Sky. Her old team, her old fans, her old locker room. This was supposed to be the moment she took over. The moment she proved Atlanta was the better situation. The moment she showed Chicago they chose the wrong player. But that's not what happened. She shot 29%. Let me say that again. 29%. That's not a couple shots didn't fall. That's missing more than 2 out of every 3 attempts. And when your entire game is built at the rim, you have nowhere to hide.
Watch this. Uh-oh, now look, it's our time. Listen, when Caitlin had her preseason game, y'all wanted to come put stuff in our face and clown us. Well, guess what? Now it's time for y'all to get the same treatment. So tell me why in Angel's first preseason game, and it went exactly how I told y'all it would, she shot 28% in the paint. 0% from the three-point line. Every three she threw up there, clank. And then from the free throws, she made 4 out of 8. She had 8 free throws. They was free. And she only made half of them. Pathetic.
But the stat line wasn't even the worst part, because one play changed everything. Angel Reese drives, goes up for the layup. And Camila Cardoso sends it into another dimension. Clean, violent, perfect timing. And within minutes. That clip was everywhere, because it wasn't just a block, it was a message. The player Chicago chose just rejected the player they traded in front of the same fans who used to cheer her name.
Decides to let her ego get in the way. That's where she's going to be dangerous and destroy the team. And I'm being honest here, because honestly, she's literally the same player from last year. She's the same player from the year before. She didn't really change that much, man. She's the same exact player. Okay, as long as she can score 0 to 5 feet and don't miss layups, she will be fine. But I don't think it's the game on the court is the issue. The issue is, will she be willing to accept a role player position? If she accepts it, she will be fine. If she don't, there's going to be huge problems. This is going to be called Atlanta nightmare afterwards. I'm telling you, that's what it is. It's going to come down to that. Is she willing to accept her role? Because I said this before and I got hated for it, but I don't give a damn.
That's not just basketball. That's narrative. And once that moment hit social media, the entire story flipped. Because now it wasn't about Reese proving Chicago wrong. It was about Chicago proving they were right. And it gets worse, because Chicago wasn't even at full strength. No Skylar Diggins-Smith, no DeJohnai Carrington, no Azura Stevens. This wasn't the full Chicago roster. This was a watered-down version, and Reese still couldn't take over. She only played around 13 minutes. 13. That's not load management. That's a player getting taken out of the game. And now the revenge narrative? Completely gone. Because revenge games don't look like this. Revenge games are loud. They're dominant. They're undeniable. This looked like someone who couldn't impose themselves on the game, and the internet noticed immediately. Missed layups, broken finishes, low-light clips getting stacked before the game even ended. And when your game is built on physicality, and the finishing breaks down, there is no backup plan, no jumper to fall back on, no playmaking to lean on, no spacing to create easier looks, just more missed attempts, and more clips going viral.
The fourth one will go in. Flick that wrist, spin that ball. Wiggity, wiggity, bang! Oh, yeah, favorite possession right here. Jam! Nah, not ready. Hands a little slippery. Had too much popcorn with butter. Butter? Butter pecan!
How many times I gotta tell you, only 3 things in life are certain. Death, taxes, and Angel Reese smoking lamps, baby! Give me all that! Burn! Oh.
here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. This didn't start in this game. This has been building for 2 years. Because while Reese was talking about a fresh start, Chicago was already moving on. The second she was gone, everything changed. Skylar Diggins-Smith signed. Dejonai Carrington signed. Azura Stevens signed. Rickea Jackson joined the roster. That's not random. That's not coincidence. That's a franchise resetting its identity. And then came the coldest move of all. Chicago gave her number away, just like that. No hesitation, no ceremony, and no wait and see. That tells you everything, because teams don't move like that unless they are completely done. And now fast forward to this game, the return, the revenge, the statement opportunity, and instead, she gets blocked, shoots 29%, plays 13 minutes, and walks into a completely different narrative. And if that wasn't enough, she skipped pre-game media. Empty chair before the game even started.
Not good. Not good. The Barbie, Angel Reese, the lean, mean rebound machine, the queen of me-bounds, is letting it be known she will not be playing nice with any Atlanta media. The Atlanta Dream media is already being shunned away by Angel Reese, as she lets it be known, I'm not dealing with none of y'all. I don't want to deal with none of this. I think this is a bad look already. This is a bad look. The Atlanta media has not done anything to Angel Reese at this point in time. You got a big star, in her own right. You have a star coming to town, and for the media to basically her to say they're not going to have any access to her.
Think about that. First game back, all eyes on you, and you're not there. That doesn't look like confidence. That looks like someone who already knows this might go wrong. And when it did go wrong, there was no way to control the story, because once the game starts, the tape tells the truth. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable, because there's another player from that same draft class, same timeline, same opportunity window, Caitlin Clark, and the gap is getting wider. Clark shows up after bad games, answers questions, takes accountability, builds trust, builds a team, builds a system that actually wins. And the results speak for themselves. Playoff appearance, stronger roster, free agents wanting to join, real momentum. While Reese, new team, same questions, same weaknesses, same narrative. And that's why this game mattered so much, because this was her chance to flip it, her chance to prove everything was different now. Instead, it confirmed everything people were already saying, that when the spotlight hits, the results don't match the noise. And that's why that one block went viral, because it wasn't just a play, it was the entire story in one moment. Chicago chose Cardoso, Chicago moved on from Reese, and in 1 second, that decision got validated on live TV. So now the real question is simple. Was this just a bad game, or is this exactly who Angel Reese is right now as a player? And more importantly, how much longer does Atlanta keep betting on this version?